biggest takeaway was the effort it takes to translate theory into practice. In Abhyas Varg 1, for example, I learnt about 3 Prashna, 5 Ps, but unless you actually put in the hard yards of putting it, the practice of actually doing it, it doesn't become real for you.
Before Vaani, I think I was spending much more longer time on the content. Now it's thinking, the content is still very important, but it's everything else which brings that content to life. And I think it's the joining up of the beginning and the end, and what is it you actually want people to do? What is that change in behaviour you want?
This Abhyas Varg, I think, and a lot of us would say this, I think has been characterised by discomfort, pushing ourselves, going out of our comfort zone, like struggle, strain. I mean, all for the good, but yeah, this has been a tough one, a really tough one.
Actually talking. I'm very happy to talk in conversation, but as soon as it comes to being, in the room where everyone is watching you, something daunts me.
So earlier we did a session where we had to convey an emotion through a quick 30-second speech, and I was given humour. And I consider myself not too unfunny, right? Like, I can crack jokes, I'm sarcastic in my funniness, but when told that I had to convey humour, that was so difficult and jarring for me, and it was traumatising. Like, it was actually traumatising. When I went to sit back down, I was like, had to like calm myself. I was deep breaths, I was shaking.
I think some of my biggest challenges, and I think probably the biggest one, from the start of this Vaani journey, was like detaching a little bit from the content of what I'm saying. We always get worried when we're asked to say something. What am I going to say? What's the audience going to think about? Oh, I said this. Oh, was this quite right? Or was that not quite right? And I think we don't realise that public speaking is so much more than that. So, letting go of the content a little bit, keeping it simple, keeping it nice, digestible, and actually, exploring all the other stuff.
Biggest challenges I faced was to embrace something that I'm not comfortable with. Firstly, identifying what I'm not comfortable with, which I got from the feedback that you guys gave, and then doing that. So I thought it was easy, but it's not easy.
About politics, about how our society is governed. All of that comes quite naturally to me in the academic setting that I'm usually in.
One is about how the shaping of Hindu society has happened over a period of time, and what is the trajectory of that Hindu society given where we are at in the world. So there are it's a mix of several topics that come together in a discussion thread like this, but I'm keen to actually explore and speak on some of these topics.
I'd say more about maybe Hindu Dharma, feminism, maybe touching on the environment too. Yeah, so more inspirational talks or motivation, not motivation, but more inspirational.
I think just stand up and speak. Like I said, so often we have thoughts that are maybe unrefined, but there's everyone has something there to talk about, and it's just about building that confidence to stand up and speak, and then going on the journey of refining that. But taking that leap in the first stage is, I'd say, the biggest thing, and then once you've done that, you can become open to actually taking it to the next level. It's like making a pizza. Once you've got the base, right, you can then build upon the base. But if you don't have the base to begin with, you can't go anywhere. So until you speak, you can't build upon it.
You do have to invest time into it, or at least I felt like I needed to. I think some of my weaknesses, such as trying to memorize and remember the speech, it consumes a lot of time.
Find your authentic self, because unless you find that, you won't even get to your Vaani as such.
I would say now, after the second Abhyas work, I would say keep an open mind and understand that Vaani is so much more than public speaking. Come join Vaani, do it for your public speaking, do it so you become a better orator. But actually the journey is so much deeper than that, and one that all Karyakartas should, if given the opportunity, try and go on, because it pushes you, it challenges you, not just with your speaking. Speaking's probably the easiest part. It's the getting to grips with all these other parts of you, your emotion, how you deal with your emotion, how you deal with being challenged, how you deal with being criticized, with being given feedback. Like, yeah, it's just a completely holistic character development experience.
I would say join Vaani